Welcome back to AfriRise, and today we have some breaking news for you all the way from Kenya. But right before we get into the news, kindly click on that subscribe button, like this video, it really counts to us. And now back to the video. Kenyans from across the country are voicing their strong concerns and even writing to African presidents. They are urging them to reject Raila's bid for the African Union Commission chairmanship. Just yesterday, we came across this letter making rounds on social media, and it is directly addressed to the President of the Republic of Botswana, the newly sworn in His Excellency President Duma Boko. And interestingly, this letter comes just a few days after Kenya's newly appointed Deputy President Professor Kithure Kindiki delivered Raila's bid to President Boko in Gaborone. Interestingly, Kenyans seem to be countering the efforts being done by their own government in campaigning for Raila Odinga. Some are using very dramatic approaches, like this meme right here, that is of Raila being kind of thrown out of the AUC house or something of the sort. But the big question is, why are Kenyans asking presidents from all over Africa to stand against Raila's nomination? It's their own countryman. Why are they rejecting him? The letter we found tries and breaks down the reasons that Kenyans are asking African presidents to do this. They are accusing Raila of using tactics that fuel division in the country to secure his own political influence. They say that Raila has often relied on his Luo community to back his ambitions, and unfortunately, these actions have also come at a painful cost to the very people who have supported Raila Odinga. And for instance, they give an example that in the recent protests that Raila Odinga led and his coalition in 2023, there was a terrible loss of life. 75 young Kenyans were killed in those protests, most of them being from the Luo community that Raila comes from.
It was a night of terror in Kisumu's Nyalende's lands. Nobody was spared, not the young or the old, not the thimble or the nimble. These are the stories of Kisumu's night of terror. At the Jaramogi Referral Hospital in Kisumu, victims of yesterday's police brutality are battling for their lives. Most of them unconscious, in life-supporting machines. Not one, not two, but 18 of them.
So today we received a report of total of 17 patients who are part of the victims who are involved in the assaults and the gunshot from yesterday.
And after that, many Kenyans counted on Raila to fight for these families to get justice or at least get some form of compensation. There really cannot be justice enough for the bereaved. But Raila did not take his time to even stand and mourn with these families after he got to into a coalition with President Ruto, who is ultimately responsible for these inhumane actions against the people. Kenyans believe that Raila does not mean good for Africans. And if at the list of expectations he could not stand with his own, how dare Africans believe this man? These are Kenyans asking Africans this question. And they give another reason that Raila's new alliance with President Ruto has left most Kenyans suffering and questioning his own motives. Raila once called out Ruto's administration when he was in the opposition for its failures, but now he's working hand in hand and supporting the bad policies. It seems that Raila has made a deal to help Ruto pass his controversial policies that many Kenyans believe are harmful to their country. And Kenyans are now asking, where is the Raila we knew? Where is the Raila who once spoke for the people? He is now supporting the illegal takeover of public assets, and he now does not even criticize direct social health service and the burden that Kenyans are being placed on in terms of paying very expensively for higher education. And in fact, in June 2024, many people lost their lives again during peaceful demonstrations led by the Gen Z. And just recently, after the protest, in exchange for some ministerial positions for his cronies, Raila began supporting Ruto's government, a move that made a lot of Kenyans from all walks of life to believe that Raila had betrayed their struggle. Kenyans also say that Raila is not only unsuitable for the AUC chairmanship, but also his ties with Western interests present a very problematic situation for African unity. Reports say that Raila might be working with Western countries, especially the United States of America and France, to try and turn Kenya into a regional power base that serves their interests. Kenyans worry that this alliance with Ruto could allow these powers to influence the African Union's agenda, which could ultimately undermine Africa's ability to be independent. And these really do not reflect Pan Africanism from Raila Odinga. Africans deserve a leader who respects principles of peace, unity, and fair representation. This is not what Raila represents. And so today we are seeing a very strong message from Kenyans to African leaders: reject Raila Odinga's bid for the AEC chairmanship. And Kenyans believe that he does not represent progress, he does not represent unity, he does not represent African independence. Now they are asking African presidents, especially those from the South African Development Community, to consider these points. Well, this is still a developing story, and Raila's AU bid is far from over. But one thing is very clear: Kenyans are very passionate. Kenyans are making their voices heard, not only in their own country, but even on an international level. But the big question is, will African leaders listen to Kenyans? Will they prioritize unity over politics? We'll be following this story for you. And so stay tuned to this channel and keep it Afri Rise. We are going to get the full story to you.